Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Sunday SoundGoblin Gaming Storytime stream. I am, as always, your host, the Krampus.
I'm Bograt.
I'm True.
I'm Hunter Green.
And I am Vincent.
Alright, and we continue on with Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Please ignore the save scum files I have down here. It was a useless attempt. Anyway, so, when last we left off, we had a whole bunch of wacky stuff happening. So, just as a recap, go into our truth bullets. So, we found a body in the greenhouse on the 5th floor.
Yep. As you do.
And when we went to investigate the body, because the body had the mask on, that was the same mask that the person who attacked us in the room behind the bathroom door, the secret bathroom door, had on, the body exploded.
You know, and also our bedroom.
Yes, and also in our bedroom, more recently.
More recent, but less relevant.
So,
Don't pay attention to what happens in our bedroom.
Chicken coop chickens.
yeah. So we also got through a brief period of time where everybody else thought that Monokuma was gone and dead because his robots weren't, or robot bear bodies weren't responding, so we were able to take one apart. And we figured out who Mukuro Ikusaba was, the 16th student at Hope's Peak Academy, who is the ultimate soldier.
Apparently.
Yep.
Her high school level talent was the ultimate soldier, according to her
This is
truth.
also apparently the ultimate despair, according to Kyoko.
Yes, according to Kyoko, she's also the ultimate despair.
And she belonged to a mercenary group called Fenrir, and nobody will tell me what that is.
But yes, there's a lot of disparate elements to this one, and there's more than just who the body is in play. But, before we go into the room, our friend of stream, Hunter Green, has caught up on the VOD, so now we are all up on the same place. So before we go into the door, it is time
Theory
for
time.
theories. This is going to be kind of a looser theory, since we've got a whole lot of dangling questions.
We've got a whole lot of dangling questions. I'll be honest, I got nothing on this one.
Okay.
Fair enough. This is definitely one of the trials that is more, the vast majority of what you need to actually figure this one out comes out during the trial.
Yeah, I figured that much.
I mean, at the very least, I'm pretty sure you can figure out who the body actually is.
Yeah.
Since had a tattoo of a wolf on her hand. Don't know what that could be in reference to.
No idea.
No clue whatsoever.
Hunter, any thoughts?
Alright, so my theory is this. The body there is indeed Mokura Ikusaba, obviously, because of the tattoo.
Uh-huh.
However, I think that we have actually met her before under a different name, and the person whose name that they were going by is our actual mastermind. I think that's Junko.
Okay.
Specifically because Junko's death was the only one where we never actually got a chance to examine the body, or it wasn't a death by punishment via the elaborate execution. It was a spontaneous instant kill from, yes, the spears of Gungnir. But, like I said, we never got a chance to examine the body, and if Junko wanted to hide her death, or hide her existence, having Mokuro do that, like be in position as her, would make the most sense. Also, there's a connection between the body of Mokuro and Junko as far as the fingernails and the
Yeah, which Shiv pointed out last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shiv, if I recall correctly, you had mentioned to Krampus and I off stream a little bit about your theory. It pretty much matches up with what Hunter was saying there.
Basically, my theory must match up with Hunter, which means clearly the murderer in this case is Monokuma with spears of Gungnir. Also,
All right.
Spears of Gungnir work perfectly well when you consider that, Gungnir and Fenrir.
Yep.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of
13
that. That's
kills.
good.
All right. We will roll into the trial, and I will say this much. This is again something I mentioned to Shiv, off stream when he was talking to Krampus and I about his theory. This trial is very interesting because in the long run, the real answers don't actually matter.
Huh.
Also, man, this room is empty as shit.
There's a lot of dead kids here.
Also, one other thing I noticed about the body that I don't recall being brought up in the last session was the coat was on back.
They did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shiv did mention that. I don't think any of the characters noticed that, though.
No, I don't recall any of the characters.
No, and none of the
It was one of
truth
the
bullets
very first things I
explicitly
noticed
bring
I
that
thought.
up.
Yeah.
No, but Shiv did say that like the lab coat was on top of them, not
What?
like on them, like they were
Yes.
wearing it.
Yeah.
Which I will say is really funny to me because my first time seeing through this game when I was following the LP on the forums, I didn't like pick up on that, and for some reason my brain just like Streisand affected it into the person always having to be wearing like a cultist robe.
I could see that.
Why?
Like I just always thought like, oh no, it was just always like a white robe, like whatever. And then like when it, and then like I don't, because it's not a truth bullet and it isn't something anybody ever brings up. I don't think it ends up being of any actual significance. So it never actually occurred to me until Shiv mentioned that. I was like, oh yeah, it was actually just like a lab coat.
Come on.
Yeah, because you get the scene of the masked person like
Yeah, when they're attacking you,
over
it's
his
very
bed,
clearly a
and
coat.
they're clearly wearing a lab coat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just like, it literally didn't occur to me until this. It was just like, oh yeah, it is a lab coat, huh? Not like a cultist robe.
In other words,
So, assuming the person who was over us with a knife is the mastermind, does that mean they were actually just going to outright kill us?
Not getting too deep into spoiler territory, but knowing what the mastermind's actual motivations are, highly unlikely.
Ah, okay.
hey,
You idiot! She wasn't dead. She was in the room the whole time. Actually,
I would like it noted.
than that, but
I would like it
What?
noted, by the way, very early on in our playthrough of this,
is that
Yasuhiro,
right?
somebody characterized him as Shaggy.
I did.
I was highly amused by that at the time because I'm at least passively familiar with the translation of this, and they definitely like pulled that out with some of his lines there. It was like, that's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Like they absolutely hold it out.
Indeed.
Someone give him a Scooby.
Let's go.
Also, let's be real here. You damn well know that as soon as the fifth floor unlocked, we found there was a card in there. Yasuhiro was like immediately, pot here.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
But,
Monokuma, ain't no rule against cannabis in school grounds, right?
Heck no! Alright, so before we go in, we actually have one more truth bullet that we need to get. And we get it by talking to Kyoko here.
Correct. That's right.
Who is apparently still alive.
Yes. It is not, in fact, a spooky ghost.
Yes, and it turns out there's a second floor of the dorms that does not have any of the cameras or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. So,
Basically, it has been locked up this entire time. The only way it was accessed was with the key that Kyoko had managed to steal from the headmaster's office, and it doesn't have anything up there like set up like the rest of the school. Which in and of itself kind of says some things.
Mm-hmm.
wrong. In other words,
Oh ho!
And so yes, we get Kyoko's account.
Just a second.
Makoto. It would seem... Goodbye.
Alright. And with that out of the way, we step into the elevator and go to the 5th class trial. We're really gonna do some maintenance on this elevator.
Yep.
What are you talking about? It does that on purpose.
Of course it does.
Don't you understand ambiance? Ugh. Allergies clogging up my throat have removed my ability to get anywhere close to the Monokuma voice. Good to note.
I can't wait! I can't
Oh,
wait!
that color scheme.
Oh my god!
Welcome to Vaporwave Nightmare Trial, motherfuckers!
Oh no, too much weed.
Oh god, it's like we're back in the early 90s.
Oh man.
So, something that doesn't actually, like, come up as much until you hit this point, and, like, I don't think it ever gets explicitly pointed out. Every time we've gone into a trial, we've actually been going to a different courtroom. They are actually different floors underneath each other.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just, you know, redecorating every goddamn time.
No,
Because that seems like something they do.
there's actually just a huge fucking stack of courtrooms for some fucking reason.
Okay. So we don't have any new skills, so we can just
No, we
roll
just
straight
got
into
SP upgrades.
Yep.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
So I do have to say something
I'll leave
about
the
this.
rest up to you.
I
Well
feel
then,
like
let's
there was
discuss the
absolutely a
specifics of
missed
the victim.
opportunity with the class
First,
trials.
we need to clarify who exactly the
in that the
unidentified
fact
victim
every
is.
time that a class trial starts,
It's
Monokuma
Kyoko.
goes through
There's
those
no
same
other
rules of the class
explanation.
trial again. I feel like there was
Kyoko's
absolutely a
standing
missed
right there.
opportunity to have one of those deliveries
No,
be
that's a
different, and
ghost.
then you have to notice it based on the rule of the trial to be an impact on the
She
trial.
has legs and
Hmm.
stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Also,
There's
that's
a
a
limit
thing,
to how
that's
much
a cultural thing
ridiculousness
for
I can tolerate.
any viewers who might not know about
okay.
that.
So
in
I
Japan,
just
like,
have to
ghosts just
prove
straight
that
up
the
don't have
corpse
legs.
isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare
they have the
Kyoko's
little,
traits
like,
to
floaty,
the traits of the
drifty,
dead
like,
body.
come to a point sheet ghost kind of thing going on,
Her
and that is just like
traits?
pure culturally. So that's why that's what the thing about like she has legs is
got it.
about. It doesn't really
I'm
make sense
talking about her
culturally in
gloves.
the West because
They'll give us some
we don't
insight
really
into
have
the
a
mystery.
solid conception
sure
of
of it.
ghosts not having feet, but
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact,
The answer is
Monokuma
Monokuma's
told
an
me.
asshole.
Apparently,
Yep.
you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh,
Monokuma, you prick.
you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing
I
any
don't
gloves,
believe we're
right?
having this conversation
probably
because
just got broken up in the
Yasuhiro
explosion.
actually got to sidetrack the conversation
I'm not
to the
convinced.
point where we have to
The
convince
ghost is just trying to
everyone
fool us
that this
all.
is not a spooky ghost. Why did all the smart people have to die or be evil?
can we take a second to appreciate that fucking line there? There's no way the corpse was Kyoko, but if I can't prove that, we'll never get anywhere. She's standing right here, you fucking morons. How's that for proof?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Can you just shoot him and be over?
Okay.
Right?
Hey!
A ghost.
Truthfully,
The
Yasuhiro's
dead body
a
wasn't
fucking
wearing
idiot.
gloves.
Everyone else
They
is like,
got
yeah,
burnt
fair
up in the
enough.
explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Also, I love that
before the
particular line.
explosion.
Have a ghost? Interesting.
Well, yeah, she must have been
You're
wearing
not
gloves.
helping,
'Cause
Kyoko.
that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Thank you, Byakuya, and I never thought I'd be saying that.
I was about to say, there's something we never thought we'd say.
No, it's pretty
I
standard.
know that body's not
That
Kyoko, so I can prove
Kyoko
it.
there is just a ghost.
Literally here.
Impossible.
Have you tried
Okay,
touching
prove
her?
it.
Poke
She's
her
not a
shoulder.
ghost.
She
The
exists.
dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she
He's
was
like, I'm a
wearing
ghost.
gloves before the explosion.
You know she's got to say like the biggest shitty grin on her face.
No,
That's like, Kyoko, you're not helping.
no. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Oh my
Whoever it
god,
was,
this
they
just
were
gets
wearing
dumber
fake
and
nails,
dumber.
Remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves
We have
over
pictures.
nails
We've
like
been
that
showing
would have
pictures
been a
this whole
pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like
I
that.
swear
Someone
to God.
hit him.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Thank you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made
Well,
to the size of
Kyoko,
my
any
hands
thoughts?
to make
You're
sure they
all
don't
idiots.
interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's
That's the
that.
exact same thing
The
a
dead
ghost would
body
say.
doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Thank you, Yaki.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Someone hit him.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Monokuma, I would like to motion to tie up and gag Yasuhiro.
For the sake of everyone's sanity.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Oh, for fuck's
who
sake!
died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right? If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No,
I love having that extra amount of focus time.
there was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
A cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Of a
Oh yeah,
whatever
the
fence.
design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made it get it to be like, you're my bitch.
God damn it, Toko.
Seriously?
Jackal is
Really did
Jackal.
something that
It wasn't a jackal the first time. Why would it be
No,
the next
that's
10
not
times?
it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Whatever Fenrir
Fenrir?
This is gonna continue for a while.
Unfortunately, now we have to search the depths of Makoto's mind to figure out what animal Fenrir is.
Honor. The good one.
Yeah, OOTR, right?
It's a lion.
This is so stupid, it actually threw off my concentration.
That's not how you spell
Now I
puppy.
understand.
That's not how you spell lion.
Right,
Sea lion?
D-O-O-G,
Representation of
dude.
Fenrir is
Dude.
a wolf.
Fenrir, the wolf
Wow,
of
wow, wow.
Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge world-ending
Oh,
wolf.
thank you, at least someone knows it.
Why
He's
didn't
the
you speak up
child
about
of
that?
The trickster god Loki, and a female
You know a
giant.
lot about this all the time.
After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary
Oh,
all-star.
bad Fenrir. Yeah.
Toga's gonna show up and tell you all about that time that Loki got sucked by
Exactly.
a horse.
The body we found had a
Yep.
tattoo of a wolf,
I mean, it did happen.
which means that
It's probably her
person must
favorite
have
of,
once
part about
belonged
Norse
to Fenrir.
mythology.
Then
I
again,
would-
So it must have been
eight-legged
Mukuro.
wolves.
What?
Hold
Those are
on.
normal things.
Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
That would make sense.
All right,
It
that's
means
the
we
other thing
were
that
wrong
happened. Yeah,
in
there we
thinking
go.
that
Finally,
Mukuro
Byakuya
was the
comes to an
mastermind at
actual
all.
goddamn conclusion.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty
Hello.
mastermindy title to me.
Meanie Ellie.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as
If I
the
pronounced that wrong,
ultimate
too bad.
despair in the first place.
That sounds right.
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
It's the only detail we need. One missing.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim
Stop
and the
trying to
culprit
figure
are
out
part of the
anything
student
else.
body?
First off, you're too stupid for it.
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
That's more
Nope.
reasonable than thinking
There are
Kyoko's
only
good.
16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
I mean, while correct,
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
it's still dumb.
Did it?
Yes, now he's
Who's
at
the
least in the
killer
parking
this
lot of
time?
the ballpark.
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it!
Toko and
I've narrowed
genocide
it down
attack.
to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
I mean,
Exactly
certain
so.
Bayaki didn't do it, but Bayaki's argument, he could have easily murdered someone at midnight if he was in the garden.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have an alibi for that.
Especially since he was dragging everyone else elsewhere.
And then kept them out of the
I
garden.
have
for the rest
something
of the
I'd
night.
like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want, somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
It's discovered at 9
I got
o'clock.
it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
I made a note for some reason.
Well, it came up because of, you know, this
Yeah, this
insanity.
particular conversation, which is how they established timeline.
He's right. It had to be around then.
This also doesn't rule out that
So
Toko
we can
did.
be totally
Or rather,
sure the murder
Genocide
happened
Jack.
sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
Or Genocide Jill.
Well, if the argument is all four of them run the
For me, I was already asleep.
That's true,
before
but, you know,
nighttime
she
hit,
could have gone there,
so
killed
I
them,
don't
and then
have an
came right
alibi
back.
after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure
That is
I met up
technically a
with
time when
everyone
she was
else
by
before
herself.
9 this morning.
Yeah.
She could be self-reporting
We
it.
ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Looks like the game has begun.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Who's counting all these out?
More than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
There is something that happens every morning.
Yes.
That's our thing.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong.
Hit the wrong button.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
It depends on how well you have your
Hold on.
sprinkler system
I
set
remember
up.
this
She was
part
technically on the
perfectly.
path.
No, it sprays the entire room.
The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew
Wow!
words?
God
Saying
damn it,
that the body
Toko.
was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you
Jesus.
mean?
Maybe the body's caught
Denying
on
the
fire.
sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man,
Seek
you're
help.
totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Time for my least favorite part of every trial.
Time for a dance-off?
Down for a dance-off.
I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing.
we're probably gonna get a bad grade on this one.
You're getting ruined on this one.
Yeah.
Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! How can you say it wasn't
This should prove it.
Damn.
Huh.
Oh no, that was the right one. Right. My bad.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
I thought that I hadn't switched to
If
the
the
correct
sprinklers
truth
got the
bullet
body
before,
wet,
but luckily
shouldn't the
they
whole
started
body
me on the
have
right
been
one.
wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
Does someone
I'm
other
so
than
sick of
Toko
her.
take over this line of conversation?
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
It's the bucket. But I'm
Yes.
fire water on it.
You have to remember,
the
we're
body
dealing
was
with
still
people who
on
needed to be
fire,
convinced that
I
Kyoko
doused
wasn't a
it with
ghost.
water. But only the
Only
bottom
one of them
half,
had to be
the top
convinced.
half.
The others were pretty much on top of it.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only
Way to
one
go,
left
kid.
without an alibi is Kyoko.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Considering how much of a loudmouth Monokuma
She
is, having
did?
him shut up is
She
actually a
thought
bad thing.
Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Why the fuck are you throwing me under the bus?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
The tarp.
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
Oh shit, I just gave them ammo.
You
Fuck.
catch on quick.
Everyone else gets the
All you
truth
have to
bullet,
do is
the
cover the
tarp.
body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
The water filled with
The
dirt?
side that faced down
Apparently
over
it's
the
very
body,
filthy
meanwhile,
water.
kept perfectly clean.
I would think the side covered in water being
This
less likely
proves
to
that
get
the
dirty.
killer used the tarp to
On
keep the
ground,
body
but,
from
you
getting
know.
soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
I think I know.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what
There was
might
no
that
blood
be?
on the tarp.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since
Water
it was
doesn't
facing
make-
down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The killer prevents.
So the reason that it's because the spring,
But the underside, it was totally split.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
no, that's wrong.
Because we saw the body before the explosion.
Yep.
As Makoto alluded to in his flashback
Actually,
there.
one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
The water makes things dirty in this world, so that wouldn't work.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Welcome to the first trial from directly held underneath a greyhound.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know.
there's like
They could have
11
grabbed some
bodies
of the
in
blood
there.
packs from the nurse's office.
Also that.
Not like it hasn't been done
That's
once
what
already.
Fumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh! Chicken. Well, that changes who I think did it then.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
What? Chicken? What?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
One is clearly pink.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Say
Thank
I wonder
you.
if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
Maybe
Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
You are surprisingly knowledgeable
so.
about something you weren't there to see.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms
I
weren't
mean,
in the sleeves.
yeah, she wasn't there at the time, but she did go and investigate the scene,
Then
so
that
she would at least
settles
have recognized that the coat
Sorry,
was on
I'm
backwards.
having a tough time keeping up.
Did she?
What settles what?
Yeah, she specifically said
Here's
that
what
you had to go and check out
The
the
murder
scene
took place
Okay.
before the
She came to the
sprinklers
trial.
went off.
because she was on the second floor, so
But
she
the
didn't
body
hear the
didn't
announcement
get
that a
wet
body had been
because
found.
the killer covered
but
it
she
with the
came
tarp.
down in time to hear the class trial
Then,
announcement.
later,
The reason
at the
she was
same
late
time
to
the
show
killer
up to
was
the class
gathering
trial
up the
was
tarp.
because she was investigating the crime scene.
They
Yeah,
pulled
that
the
makes sense.
coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Kyoko, I'm gonna need you to get
saying
all
it's
the
not
way off
possible.
my back on this one.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
I would like to say, Kyoko, if your goal is to survive this so you can, spread the word of what happened here, you're going about this the wrong way still.
So, we have another truth bullet mid-case.
Mid-trial truth.
Well then,
Yep.
it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
No, that's a terrible idea.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No!
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found
God.
stuck in the body before
Yeah,
it
I was wondering
exploded,
when
right?
people were gonna get around to actually talking about that.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Also, I have no idea what's causing that weird audio jitter. I think it's just part of the
So,
game.
what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Very, very
That's what I thought when I first
infrequently
saw it.
during this
I
trial,
just remembered.
a couple of syllables have been double uttered, like the Monokuma file. It was very quick and doesn't come up. You lose one knife and everyone thinks you're a suspect.
Yep.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I
Because
hid
we
it.
expected you
It's
to
just-
remember what it looked like?
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife
Being
we
very
found
sus.
in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it.
Hold your fast.
12,000% convinced.
Not kill the other students. Which I think we have been doing up until this point.
Yeah.
No one expects to start killing other students now.
Yep.
Huh.
Guys, how do I get out of the vent?
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I
He
had
was
the
in
knife
such a hurry to
once,
die.
that automatically makes me
Usually
the
is.
killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Stab, stab,
What a
stab.
horrible man you are, Makoto.
Oh, shut up!
I never want to hear that.
The knife we found lodged. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Makoto,
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong.
It's also interesting to hear Makoto speak up
Wait,
as part of
hold
the
on.
bullet time debate.
The stab
Yeah.
wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Except we have a thing that says exactly how she died.
I got it!
Yeah. Like what the cause
The
of death
Monokuma
was.
file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
God damn it!
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage
Red herring.
set up by the true killer.
He's not here.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away.
I'm not
from
even
what
there,
actually killed
Jones.
her.
I'm on vacation.
Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Hey, Toko, are you alright? You got hit by a bomb. Yeah, I'm fine.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but
Kyoko, are you a ghost?
what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
God, it's
I
awesome.
might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Well, you see, the ghost of Kyoko set off an explosion to throw us off.
My favorite part about it is he's
After the
able to tell that
explosion,
we already
found
know
a
what
tiny
the
fragment
report.
of something on the ground near the body, right?
From past experience, it's just like, okay, yeah, Makoto knows
That
everything.
fragment reveals the cause of the
Or at least
explosion.
Makoto's got a handle on everything.
Huh?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I've seen something like it.
Admittedly, a
somewhere
lot of
before.
our
That's
deduction
only
is
natural.
on the fly.
Because, of course,
We come up with a lot of our theories mid-trial.
we saw the
And
same
usually
thing
it's
when he
something
dismantled
from one person or
Monokuma.
another,
Yes.
It's part of a bomb.
especially Kyoko.
Yep.
Oh, then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway,
So Monokuma did
the
it.
culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
But will it change your opinion of the facts of the case? I need to concentrate. Gotta get my magic pixie dust.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has
it's like
yet
we're
to
playing
be
time
determined,
stories already.
correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined.
No, that's wrong.
I feel like
You're
realistically
right,
they could have
because
just
the
made
blow to the back of the
disguised
head
dead
she
body
suffered.
one of those remember things rather than an actual truth bullet.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
God damn it.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way!
way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
And furthermore, both these strong people are already dead.
On you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we
Do we have a
already
timeout
know.
room for those two?
We already know?
Timeout room for everyone?
I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
So I don't have to, but I can pretend like I knew the entire time.
You ready for some Wetzel's Pretzels brand of logic here?
I figured I was not.
Oh, for God's sake, really?
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Yeah, pretty stupid, right?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of
Dumb.
weird.
Hey!
Yeah.
How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right.
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
There's a lot of things with that, but
One more secret.
Yes.
uh,
Secret. Got a secret.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master. You have no right!
The titanium arrow.
It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound.
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
missed it.
Yes.
Back to Master.
Oh well.
You have no right!
Also, manage with padding. Because seriously, this could have been covered with a fraction of a sentence.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too...
No, that's wrong.
No, technically she's right.
You're right. Just the one
See?
arrow would have
No,
been
that's
too
wrong.
weak.
You're right.
That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
All the arrows
Inside
at
the
once.
dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
Now,
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe.
Now, I've never seen archery
And that's
arrows. You're gonna
exactly
forgive
what
me
the
for a little
killer
bit of
did.
ignorance on my part, but even a bundle of arrows together
Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
shouldn't...
One stick is weak. To put them together,
Depends upon how
and they
many you're
become
talking.
strong. It's
You
meant
can
to
do
be
some damage with a
cooperation.
bundle of arrows gathered together.
Okay.
Especially if they're
That's
titanium.
harsh.
Yeah. The fact that it's titanium also makes for an excellent club because titanium's actually pretty light.
Anyway,
Yeah, so
that
you can swing it
explains
pretty
the murder
fast,
weapon.
pretty hard.
Okay.
As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh,
Stop preventing shit yourself, asshole!
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I got it!
What?
Was that?
The one thing that
So,
proves Kyoko was in the
Just
dojo
so
is
everyone is aware, this
Right
trial
here.
also
the
leads
key to the
to
dojo locker.
an alternate ending.
And how does that prove anything?
And there is basically a
Because
singular
I
choice
found it in
That
your
is coming up.
It
that
was
is coming up
in my
that
room?
leads to
Don't
the
bother
only
trying to
real
play dumb.
alternate ending in this game.
Yes.
That key
And
is
thankfully,
just
in the
final
version
piece
of
of
the game
the
we're
puzzle.
playing, if you choose the wrong
Your
one, it just brings you right
non-existent
back to the
alibi, your
choice.
clear
Yeah,
motive
it
for
goes
attempts
to
to
take you
frame
through the
Makoto for
alternate
the
ending
crime.
and then jumps you right back to that choice.
This
It's like,
all
okay,
proves
now I
that
have to
you
finish
are the
game.
true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give.
So are we going to explore the
Hold on
wrong
a
ending
second.
first?
Yes,
Or the
we are
alternate?
first going to
Back
to do the
It-
wrong
it-
one.
really
it's
are
very,
dead set
it's
on
very
defending
brief.
her,
You basically
aren't
get
you?
to see
No,
an
it's
execution
not that I
and
want to
then
defend her. It's just
a brief
there's one more
description
thing
of
I
what
need to
happened
ask her.
afterwards, and then
Yes.
it cuts back basically.
Kyoko,
It's not like
I
a
want you to tell me
full
something.
like, oh, there's a whole bunch of gameplay to get to the ending. It's
last
pretty
night
straightforward.
you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
Wait, he should know something?
Mate, you're obvious.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said.
I'm sorry,
I'm
not
not
intelligent enough
the
to
killer.
understand it.
You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Then you have the key. Yeah.
Oh,
Those words you just
good
spoke.
point.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
But she keeps able to
Because
get
she
into
had
yours.
given her room key to Byakuya.
That keeps during the walk ago.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here is our point where we can diverge timelines.
So basically, this determines who goes to the execution. Hello, the Bubblegum Pink Hoodie. How are you doing today?
Right.
Hey.
A reminder, since we have a lot of new people in the audience, no spoilers.
No, please spoil. Allow me to fucking end you.
I mean, thank you for joining, but I just like to put that out there early to prevent any incidents. And Makoto's lost in the void of darkness here.
Yes, this is a partially blind playthrough in that some people involved in the playthrough are blind.
Yes.
Yep.
Run away. So, we're not gonna let that stand.
Hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
Wait, what?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Oh, I found it. Something she told us about earlier.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
Yep.
You are correct.
Yep.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
This is where we actually have to use our deductive reasoning. It's unfortunate, or where I specifically have to use deductive reasoning. If you guys hadn't already pointed it out. Because the guide does not go over this question.
There's no doubt about that, right?
Presumably the guide is pointing you towards the true ending and not
So
the
I
fake
couldn't
ending.
possibly have gotten into my room.
Yeah, I figured that might have been it.
How else could the
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the... I didn't have because I'd given it.
There's no doubt about
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong.
That's what you get for confiding in me.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Wow.
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Objection, judge leading the witness.
Yeah.
Oh, is this gonna be our first time actually seeing a false verdict? Or they're just gonna do next her anyways? Oh, lie about it.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment! Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Come on, Akuma TV.
Yep.
This is less elaborate than most of them.
I assume something else is going to happen.
Let's just say we have chosen poorly.
That execution is actually remarkably straightforward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squish.
That's how the class trial of Mukuro Ukasaba came to an end.
Yep, there's never a murder at Hope's Peak ever again.
Never a murder at Hope's Peak again.
Well, thank you all for joining us.
Wow.
Also, I would like to point out something that I pointed out in, like, the second episode of this playthrough.
Oh.
That was Yasuhiro's prediction.
Yasuhiro made a future prediction when we talked to him during his first free time segment. That the mother of Makoto's kid and the mother of his kid would be the same
Makoto,
person.
Why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
So we just daydreamed Toko dying and us all living in a polyamorous
I like
relationship
the fact
with
that
Ayora?
there was the death of Toko in there. Just like, yeah, she dead.
Yep.
No explanation. Just she dead.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't murdered, obviously, since they didn't say no murder ever happened again. She just kind of died.
Yeah.
Yeah, then she just wasted away.
People die, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she died in childbirth. It's not like they seem to have any type of, proper doctors there or anything. That's just
Toko didn't
dangerous.
give birth to any child. Canonically, to the end of that, Asahina gave birth to the child of all three of them.
Yep.
That is an established thing.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact?
I thought I had something, but I foresaw terrible
see.
consequences
So you
for
still
mentioning it.
refuse to accept it.
Glance over
I suppose
Yasuhiro.
we have to
Terrible
admit that Kyoko didn't
consequences.
put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto.
Oh, God damn
I
it.
don't see any other option.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
There was, and it got pasted all over the bottom of a
Hidden
crushing
side?
trap in another timeline.
First of all,
Well,
there's
you know.
something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead, and then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
Well,
What
we
do
get
you
our
mean
first
time's
shocked
up?
face for
There's no time's
Makoto.
up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
I honestly didn't expect this to happen in
then
the actual
it's time
timeline.
for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
And yeah.
Oh, looks like you got an A.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Got 116 medals out of that.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
He's got such a grumpy face on his little vote thing.
Yep.
I mean, for good reason, but...
Well, way to go. You just killed everybody.
Yep.
And there's the first time that that Monokuma has ever lied to you.
Hey!
Well,
That's not
I
true.
mean, other than the
No.
alternate ending.
Yes, other than the others.
Yeah.
Thrills! Chills!
Also, there is another lie. He did
Hey,
make the
Bestie.
lie about why there was the sixth chair before.
He
I
didn't
don't expect you to
actually
forgive
lie
me.
about that. He basically just kind of said, "Don't worry
I
about
know
it."
this is all my fault.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I like how she goes, I know you won't forgive me. Of course not. I'm gonna be dead.
Guess what? He's gonna see a ghost for the first time, because I'm gonna come back and haunt you for this.
Oh, good. We get the same death from it.
Yep.
Fantastic.
In a way, that makes more sense.
Well, it's all because the other ones were kind of personalized. At least Leon's and Mondo's.
They're the harder characters to personalize, so it's just a more generic school theme.
Also, keep in mind, the ones that were more personalized were when somebody had actually committed the murder, and so they knew in advance who was going to be killed.
That's true.
In case you can't pick up on it, Monokuma was basically just going to say whoever they chose was correct in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
Ah.
this time will be different.
This one.
Fuck!
Funk.
I mean, that'll kill him, but...
Yeah.
Ah, they're going to victory gun to death.
This is...
Okay, I figured this would happen. At least
Virus,
at some
nothing.
point.
It would seem...
What the heck?
In other words,
Hmm. Yaha!
Um...
calm down. In other words,
What did you say?
so...
Cunning plan, and I wasn't a part of it? Madness.
Probably a good thing it went part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that tall.
No, not really. It's going to be even less impressive. You can't see it quite in this picture, but there's some EDF soldiers on top of that. All around there's bugs coming in. That town's about to be flattened by artillery.
Not by bugs. Artillery.
That's what I said.
Yep.
Cowardly bugs are hiding inside the building.
Clearly, the aliens are the mastermind behind the entire thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, Vesta, it looked like Kyoko only ever wanted to use alter ego.
True. Oh god, did the game reboot?
And now to play the game from the beginning, because...
No, thank God we don't have to play the game from the beginning again.
Little do you know, the game is really just a closed time loop.
Wrong series.
Have fun, Bograt.
I'll remind you, I'm not bothered by time travel shit. That's
I
you,
know.
That's you and Vince.
I'm not bothered by it. I just can't wrap my head around time travel.
No, I'm bothered by lazy plot explanations, mainly.
Time travel's simple. You remove your heart, send it back in time.
No, not of this.
Honestly, the thing that bugs me more about 999 was the predestined to happen explanation for basically everything that makes no fucking sense.
Oh, just wait for the next game.
Yeah, I know, it'll probably be worse.
Heck of a situation to find yourself in, indeed.
Yep.
Mm.
I would like to point out off on the right-hand side there is the top of that Monokuma rocket we saw in the intro.
Yep.
All right.
How the hell would you, A, know that, B, that's not how that works.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
It's poetic.
Like, if anything, he's proving it. Hey, here I am, willing to save my friends.
He just knew in his heart of hearts that his friend gave up the last of their strength, which is totally a thing for an AI.
Right, we need a key.
All right, how many things do we have to go through to end up with the proper key?
Yeah, it's probably just in our pocket.
You know, it could be. You have 8 keys.
Friends we made along the way.
No, it's not.
Most of the friends we made along the way ended up murdering our other friends we made along the way to try and get out.
In fairness, to some extent, the key is one of the friends we made along the way, who happens to have a key to every door in the fucking building.
That's true. The one we did not throw under the bus in this timeline.
Well, it didn't happen in alternate time. That was just a daydream, remember? We zoned out for a bit.
So, in other words, she had a key to everywhere in the building and could hypothetically reach the trial room early?
I mean, I suppose so.
She would have been seen doing it because of the cameras, but
Questionable she could reach the trial room early, considering you have to take an elevator to actually get there.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not entirely clear whether or not Monokuma's special tool would activate the elevator.
Calling it now, the special tool is nothing more than a TI-80 calculator. Do anything with those things.
Special tool is actually just a sledgehammer. I use the special tool to get through that door.
Unlocks every door permanently. Oh god, you might be onto something. Not shape of a pile of stuff falling down.
Just a second.
Just a piece of garbage.
It
Fucking
smells
rude, also.
awful. Indeed.
Nice hat.
Yep.
So...
Wow, FF15, way to rip off Danganronpa.
Hey.
Then I died from choking on the bread I shoved down my throat.
In the most ironic of fashions.
Kyoko was immediately put on trial.
just like the ruler of the underworld, choked to death on a black pretzel.
Hmm?
That would be an interesting.
So... You...
You even look like you had a whole daydream about it.
And then you stared at Yasuhiro, accusing.
I...
Absolutely did.
However...
A reason that I had to survive.
No matter the cost.
It's true.
My super high school power is
In
toss
other
people under the
words-
bus.
Okay, can you super high school level elaborate?
Very important reason.
To get good grades, to be
Indeed.
successful in life.
I...
I would have loved if she had, like, shaken most of it out, but we still did this whole conversation with a shrimp in her hair.
Makoto.
Including the flashbacks.
Flashes back to our shrimp.
That's right.
I can no longer summon my persona.
It would seem...
Oh no.
Hey. Indeed.
Stole my memory with some kind of hypnotism ray or something.
That's dumb. It's probably correct. That's dumb.
No. It's not a hypnotism ray. And Carmen Sandiego had a blanket that could steal talent from people.
Carmen Sandiego could steal random monuments. That shouldn't even be transportable.
Carmen Sandiego stole an entire year. Like, the object a year.
Normal rules of reality don't apply to Carmen Sandiego. She knows by now.
Carmen Sandiego's some
Why
kind
is
of
that?
trickster spirit.
So what you're saying is the last murderer was actually Carmen Sandiego.
No, Carmen Sandiego doesn't kill.
No, she just steals
No, she's still alive.
concepts.
See?
Oh, she may have stole life. But it wasn't a murder.
However,
I would make an argument that if the mastermind was so worried about Yoko's abilities,
Monarch's killer.
why not just offer when you're knocking one out? Don't even worry about it.
Yep.
Reasons.
My best guess, if from where we are here, is because they didn't want the trials to fail initially.
It's not only that, but also, like I said, for the same reasons of their motivation as to why I doubt they would have actually killed Makoto in his room. There's the mastermind is doing what they're doing for a reason. It's not a good reason, and it doesn't really make sense, but it does exist. They do sort of follow their own internal logic.
correct.
I mean, it's a psychopath. Reasons being good or making sense are optional at best.
Pretty much.
So here's where we start getting revelations.
X. Starting with her ultimate ability. She is, unsurprisingly, I'm sure most people expected it by this point, the ultimate detective.
She is Batman.
Yeah.
No, he's not the ultimate deck, he's the world's greatest. Exactly different thing.
So...
And she's also the daughter of the
In other
Master of
words,
Host Peak Academy.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
By law of contrivance.
That explains nothing.
So Jin Kirigiri is a very important character to the whole
So it does
trilogy that is not actually really all that important. It's like
No matter what.
theoretically he's very important.
No, it does explain why he's been referred to as the headmaster and they haven't given us his name.
Yeah, would be kind of a giveaway.
Yeah. Granted, he could just have a different last name, but...
However,
his corpse.
What did you see in the Headmaster dimension?
it's true. Indeed. Correct. However,
No.
Messed up. We'll go back to it.
Okay.
however, anyway, indeed. Correct. That's right. In other words,
there's no rule against stealing stuff.
It'd make killing just that much harder. Granted, you could write it in a Weasley way, but still.
Yeah.
hey,
I just had a thought about that. Oh. I'm not entirely sure we did see the body of Mukuro Kusaba.
Oh.
Well, the only thing we've got
Indeed.
to judge that as it being Mukuro is tattoo. Except all the other signs point towards the body being Junko.
Okay.
I...
Could have been tattooed afterwards.
Fair.
Considering how in-depth these people go, it could have literally been a stamp on the hand.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway...
A white chat? That's not how that works.
That is how it works.
Correct.
The criminal mastermind.
Yep.
However... Correct.
The work of the mastermind.
Indeed. Correct. In other words... Makoto.
The other ultimate despair. Wait, what?
That's what it says.
Indeed. That's right.
Biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
Yep.
Humanity's no good, very bad day.
Yeah.
It would seem... Indeed.
The root of evil.
The root of evil.
Considering the amount despair gets thrown around, it's at least a decent suspicion. Chapter 5, 100-mile dash, pain of a junk food junkie.
The end. Nobody died.
Yeah. To be continued.
They didn't reapply the silhouette, though.
Alright. So,
Oh, God.
While we have a minute here, as we're kind of between chapters, there was a thing I mentioned a long time ago, several sessions back, which involves exactly how Makoto came to be at Hope Peak Academy. The reason I didn't go too in-depth into it at that point is because it involves Jin Kirigiri, and I didn't want to spoil things. So that being said, now I do want to actually go into this. Give me a moment to pull it up so I can explain to you Makoto Naegi's secret file. So this is a 25-page booklet, which has a short story written by Kazutaka Kodaka, the person who wrote Danganronpa. This was only bundled with the DVD or Blu-ray disc Volume 1 of Danganronpa the Animation. So it starts off with Jin Kitagiri talking to the steering committee about the results of their annual draw for this year's Ultimate Lucky Student. To explain that, basically every year they hold a lottery, and whoever wins that lottery to get into Open Peak Academy is considered the Ultimate Lucky Student by virtue of having won said lottery. The 4 members of the steering committee are unimpressed because they don't think that luck is a talent, and the headmaster is wasting resources on bringing in an Ultimate Lucky Student. Jin tries to convince them otherwise, but he has a hard time convincing them until he brings up a certain person. I'm not going to name this person because it's a spoiler for the next game, but there's another Ultimate Lucky Student that Jin uses to convince them that, like, no, luck is a talent and can be used as such. Then he takes out a folder containing the information concerning this year's Ultimate Lucky Student and revealed to the committee the result of the lucky draw. A female high school student. Then it cuts to Makoto, lamenting how today was not a lucky day for him. His life had been nothing but normal up to that point. Normal school, normal friends, normal family. He's pretty much the textbook example of a normal high school student. However, something went wrong on that particular day. It all started on a clear day after school. Makoto was in a cheery mood, thanks to the weather, and he had a feeling that something good might just happen to him. One thought occurred to him: maybe he should take the long way home. He thought about doing something different than usual. And that was the beginning of his misfortune. Makoto passed by a park and saw a group of his friends trying to decide who to send to the convenience store in a game of rock, paper, scissors. They invited Makoto to join the game, and although Makoto would have usually refused it, he didn't know more than half of the people anyway, he felt that he might as well do something different in this case as well. Plus, there were about 10 people in the group. He didn't think losing was a big possibility. Yet he lost on the first round. Everyone except for him put out rock, and he played scissors. His friends were astonished at just how unlucky Makoto was, but sent him off to the convenience store to buy them snacks and drinks regardless. 10 minutes later, Makoto was struggling with the 2 heavy bags filled with the stuff he got from the convenience store. He tried to distract himself by thinking of the music show that'll be on TV tonight, featuring a certain former classmate of his. Yet as his mood began to improve, misfortune struck again. Both of the plastic bags tore open at the same time, spilling their contents all across the pavement. A few minutes passed, and Makoto finished collecting all the cans and bags, but wondered for a moment, as he felt like the stuff he managed to gather was less than what he had started out with. He looked around and spotted an old man sitting on a bench. The old man slowly bent down and picked up a can of coffee that rolled to a stop at his feet, opened it up, and drank it. That can of coffee belonged to Makoto, yet the old man said he felt that it was natural to drink it since it ended up right in front of him. Makoto was flabbergasted at this incredulous excuse, and revealed to the old man that he seemed to be having a very unlucky day, complaining that he didn't do anything bad enough to deserve this streak of misfortune. The old man laughed and told Makoto that he didn't believe in karma at all. He'd seen plenty of evil people be blessed with fortune, and plenty of kind people suffer all sorts of misfortune. In the end, luck isn't something that a man can control, no matter how much talent one has or how hard one works. He suggests Makoto to just accept things the way they are. After finishing their conversation, the old man returned the half-empty can of coffee back to Makoto and left. But Makoto decided that the old man had left his phone on noticed that the old man had left his phone on the bench. He called out to the old man, who was already a distance away, but the old man didn't hear him. Makoto was conflicted. Should he just ignore the phone and bring the snacks back to his friends, or should he leave the snacks and chase after the old man? He decided on the latter and rushed after the old man. His calls were once again drowned out, this time by the sound of a bus coming to a stop ahead. The old man immediately took off towards the bus station. Makoto panicked slightly and upped his own pace as well, and managed to hop into the bus after the old man in the nick of time. Makoto found the old man sitting in the back, and just as he was about to head there, his legs wobbled from the intense running and he lost his balance. Just before he crashed to the ground, he instinctively grabbed onto something. He heard the sound of something tearing and fell to the ground regardless. Makoto's sole consolation was that he managed to soften his fall somewhat by grabbing onto the mysterious object, but even that turned out to simply be a continuation of his misfortune. He happened to tear open a bag, from which spilled dozens of precious jewelry. The owner of the bag, someone looking like your average salaryman, immediately took out a knife and demanded everyone to freeze. That man was named Yutaro Akafuku. He was a man whose life had been blessed with fortune for as long as he was alive. He found himself in several dangerous situations in the past, but he survived all of them thanks to a series of unlikely coincidences and lucky accidents. He believed that luck was his strength, yet he did not want to admit that. In fact, he sought to eliminate all traces of uncertainty and luck-dependent factors in his job, that of a robber. He works alone and only takes on jobs that he knows he can fulfill with absolute certainty. And thanks to his careful planning, he had been extremely successful thus far. He was just done robbing a small jewelry shop and was on his way home, dressed as a salaryman that nobody will think of looking at twice. It all went smoothly until he was involved in somebody else's misfortune. It was a misfortune powerful enough that he could not overcome it, even with his unnatural luck. In the meanwhile, Makoto was experiencing a minor breakdown thanks to the series of incredibly unlucky events. and to think it all started from him taking the long way home. He couldn't even wrap his head around everything. Correctly identifying Makoto as the cause of his recent misfortune, Jutaro decided to take him hostage, and got the driver out of his seat by threatening to slit Makoto's throat if he didn't comply. Jutaro sat Makoto down in the driver's seat and used him as a hostage. In the meanwhile, he ordered the passengers in the bus to gather the scattered pieces of jewelry for him, promising their safety if they cooperated. However, just as someone finished gathering all the pieces, the old man, who had been faking sleep up until that point, sprang and tackled Jutaro, pinning him on the ground. The old man was a kendo master. At that precise instant, one thought ran through Makoto's mind particularly strongly. He must save the old man. We get a slight hint of Makoto's optimism and willingness to fight, but that was all for naught as the bus suddenly accelerated. Makoto had accidentally shifted the gears and stepped off the gas pedal. The bus lurched forward, throwing both Makoto and the old man off balance. The old man yelled at Makoto to step on the brakes, which Makoto did immediately, pulling the bus to an abrupt stop that knocked him off balance again. As he was regaining his balance, his hand accidentally brushed over a button. It was a button to open the bus's door. Jutaro saw this as an opportunity and immediately hightailed it off the bus. The old man was writhing on the ground in pain and shouted at Makoto to chase after the robber. Makoto couldn't believe that he'd asked someone of his stature to chase after a grown man, and capture him no less, but for some reason, the entire bus seemed to be in agreement. Makoto sought out the bus driver for assistance. Surely he would point out how ridiculous the situation was, but found the bus driver passed out. How unlucky. Left with no choice, Makoto jumped out of the bus, only to crash into a postman who took note of the bus's erratic movements and came over to check. Both of them fell over, Makoto lamenting his bad luck again before noticing Jutaro's riding the motorcycle that once belonged to the postman. Jutaro was frustrated with the series of irregular happenings that disrupted his careful planning. Something like this had never happened before, and threatened Makoto by saying that he'd hate Makoto for the rest of his life if he ended up being arrested. Jutaro started the engine and accelerated, believing that he could escape successfully with this motorcycle. He'd have to abandon it eventually, since post-delivery motorcycles tend to stand out, but that'd be a while ahead. The postman shouted at him, and Makoto simply stood there unmoving. He was tired of the streak of misfortune that seemed to follow him at every step, and decided to give up and do nothing. He just wanted to go back to his normal daily life as an ordinary high school student. At that moment, the motorcycle that Jutaro was riding tipped over and threw the man across the street. The motorcycle spun wildly and hit a street lamp before exploding in a shower of sparks and smoke, burning up the bag of letters that the postman had put on it. Makoto walked towards the accident site, unable to believe his eyes. What he found was a bent and broken can of juice. The cause for the motorcycle overturning was one of the cans that Makoto accidentally spilled all over the street just a while ago, and one that he wasn't able to locate when he searched for the missing cans. It was a series of impossible coincidences caused by Makoto's bad luck, and this situation was merely a result of Makoto's overwhelming bad luck, managing to defeat Jutaro's careful planning and good luck. It rendered all sorts of talent and hard work futile. Yet this was not the end of the worst day in the life of Makoto Naegi, but he himself would not realize this until much later. The scene shifts back to Jin Kirigiri, who has been informed that the letter addressed to the year's ultimate lucky student has been burnt up in an unfortunate accident involving a robber and a motorcycle stolen from a postman. Having heard that, Jin decides to hold the lottery again, because he feels that the misfortune of having her admission letter burn up disqualifies her from being accepted as ultimate lucky student. In fact, he's already gotten the results of the draw. Makoto Naegi.
Whackity schmackity do.
And that is how Makoto. And that is how Makoto Naegi ended up at Hope's Peak Academy as the ultimate lucky student.
I honestly expected the old man to be the guy.
Jin Kirigiri is not that old. He's like in his 30s. And doesn't look anime 30.
Yeah.
He actually looks reasonably like somebody in his 30s.
Frightening.
Anyway.
So yes, that is the whole. Makoto is the ultimate lucky student, but it's entirely unclear whether it's good luck or bad luck.
Indeed. That's right. It's true. Indeed.
We're starting to get into the real like meat and potatoes of the whole backstory of
Yeah.
exactly what the tragedy is and what happened to Hope's Peak Academy. Finally.
Like how there was a tragedy a year ago that everyone knows about, but no one talks about.
Thing is, I don't think they know about it.
There's a reason for that?
Yeah.
Ultimate pain,
Oh my.
ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death,
Deadly life.
ultimate.
As you may guess, this is the last chapter of the game.
Yeah.
Yep. The penultimate chapter. I mean,
No, we just got done with the penultimate.
There's no,
No,
secret
last
chapters
chapter.
after this. There's no...
no, we're
hidden
just calling the
stuff.
last chapter the penultimate chapter because we have to use the word ultimate more.
No, it'd be the ultimate chapter. Ultimate final chapter.
I'm glad Makoto was nice enough to go up first.
Hey,
Still in a dream, Hope's Peak Eater.
What a thrill.
So, I will take this opportunity to mention yet another underwear fact.
Yay!
Kyoko's underwear apparently generates a shadow that hides it from view, no matter what view it's angled from.
This isn't him making a joke about this
So-
thing. That's actually in the description of
Yes,
her
in
underwear.
the actual description of her underwear.
That is amazing.
Because, as the ultimate detective, her superpower is mystery.
It specifically mentions when going up ladders or when looking at dead bodies, which are two of the scenes where they explicitly, like, do a shadow
out her-
censorship
under her
to
skirt, yeah.
prevent anything like that.
That's a level of meta I can...
It's a level of meta you should come to expect from Danganronpa.
No, this,
Right.
this game loves that kind of shit.
indeed.
The light nor shadow. We are the night.
The ultimate truth.
What makes a detective neutral?
Lust for gold. Actually, lust for
Power.
gold. Really.
Yeah, maybe they were just born with a heart full of neutrality.
It's true.
I like how they say that they don't seek justice. I disagree.
Well, they're not there to seek justice. They're there to find all the facts.
Yeah, from Kyoko's point of view, she's just there to find the truth of what happened and then hand it to people like lawyers or prosecutors or whatever,
Okay, I
who
see.
then
Yeah.
seek
Yeah.
justice.
Detective isn't the one who runs the trial.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, it's hard to separate, like in games like this, to separate
However,
actual detectives from anime detectives. In which case, anime detectives literally do just
I-
about everything.
what?
I wanted to kill him.
I wish he was in this game.
So much talk about what? Like how he abandoned us?
Wrong.
He went out for cigarettes, never came back.
However, I... So...
Dawn.
However...
How dare he want to do his own thing?
You can go your own way.
Yeah, that's more why she wants to
Yeah.
give him peace of mind, because...
Right. However...
Yeah, looking at the sill long enough, it's more like Makoto is crawling on a ladder that is lying on the ground. His knees are really
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow.
My knees, my knees.
Yeah, we could
shins.
just get up and
However-
walk. Have to maintain the illusion.
I didn't get my exercise in.
See, it's like Clerks the animated series all over again.
Why are we walking like this? A question that comes up in at least half the episodes.
Yes.
Correct.
In order to settle the past, they'll have to travel to the future.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no. Pretty sure this thing doesn't involve actual time travel yet.
Wrong.
Let's not allow it that.
Yeah, again, wrong Storytime series.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know there was a joke about that machine being a time machine before.
Alright, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Yep.
Alright.
It's a very long ladder.
Yep.
Yep.
It's probably a lot shorter trip if they actually, went up the ladder instead of just
Yeah,
staying
instead
there.
of just standing
We're
there.
just gonna stop here in the middle of the ladder and have a
Emotional
long conversation.
The top of the ladder.
Indeed. That's
How are you
right.
going to get the leverage to open that?
If you unlocked this earlier, why'd you jump down into the hole instead of...
That's a good question.
Potentially not landing on something that would break your fall and, just hitting
Dying.
that ground and dying. Looking
fine.
horrifically crippled.
It's fine.
We're back. A dinosaur story.
She deduced it was the best way. Ultimate Detective.
Then his luck kicked in that she would survive the fall and lead him back. Yeah, we'll go with that.
His unluck is not going to be like, she deducted there'd be something safe to land on. Unfortunately, it was full of glass.
No, luck, maybe it just swings randomly for him. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. He just happened to have a really bad day when he got selected for this.
Well, again, the whole point of Makoto Naegi's secret file is that it was...
Everything that
Good.
happened to him was
It's
super
luck.
duper unlucky, but then his luck swung massively the other way and
In
gave him
other
entry
words-
into Hope's Peak Academy. Now, the question
really
is, was
lucky
it
that he went
ultimately
going on?
unlucky that he got chosen, or ultimately lucky?
However,
Yeah, that's what that whole, like, it wasn't even the worst thing that would happen to him that day was
Yeah.
about. Was like, oh, well, he got entered into Hope's Peak Academy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
because
And remember, him having the shitty door on the first trial was a big part of clearing that. That's a big part of the trial.
so right. Indeed. Shall we go?
The area.
Hey, everyone, I'm back from the dead. Don't worry.
Who's got two
Perfectly
thumbs
normal.
and didn't get crushed to death? This guy. And this girl. 4 thumbs. You lost 2 thumbs? Man, that's tough.
Well, that's
Yasuhiro, you ruined it.
No, Yasuhiro, I'm a ghost.
Well now, well
Oh,
now,
no,
well
okay.
now, well now. I don't believe it!
It's okay, Monokuma. I'm a ghost.
Oh, well, that's fine. Then wait a second. Huh. I've been around Yasuhiro too long.
What?
I'm starting to get dumb.
Shing! Making me angry!
Right. However,
That's fucking cold.
now, if
Huh? Hey!
because in other words, however, right. Indeed.
as I was manipulated by Kyoko,
However-
but keep going.
Different kind of manipulation. Next execution will be flawless. I'll use a gun!
Am I wrong?
Bombs and tracker bracelets, that's the thing!
How do you feel about digital roots?
What do you know about the Britannic?
Oh no.
Well,
Well, that doesn't matter. That's right. Because however,
what the heck?
indeed. Hey,
Oh shit.
Yes, because remember, this is getting televised to everyone in the world.
Yep.
They've taken over the broadcast. Taken over all the broadcasts.
listen to me. Hey, that's what we have to do. It's true. It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey.
In other words, a deadly trial. A deadly... No, Makoto, save that for the actual trial.
Please. Or just not at all.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed.
What's wrong?
No! Truly the worst torture.
In other words,
You guys!
If you're trying to give your audience despair, these puns are working.
I can barely contain myself!
Damn it, Teddy.
Barrett! You guys! I can barely contain myself!
Ooh, qualifies.
Very
That is a good one.
You guys!
Listen to me.
I honestly can't believe this. This is all turned out.
Hey.
What's wrong?
Hey.
God damn.
What?
Listen.
Now I'm really angry!
Whew.
Hey!
Apathy, yeah.
Maximum despair.
Hey.
So it's worth noting, as you've probably figured out by this point, neither Makoto nor Kyoko at the very least die in this game. And as I've gone over the whole like, oh, there are alternate executions for everybody who survives, blah blah blah. Both Makoto and Kyoko, their quote unquote canonical execution is that after school lesson.
Right. So what did I miss?
So because the headmaster tried to jump the gun and use the class trial to murder Kyoko, but we stood up for Kyoko and didn't call her out on the lie, and threw a wrench into things, it ended up almost breaking the school regulations. So in order to avoid that, because the headmaster has to follow the school regulations...
Not headmaster.
Mastermind.
Mastermind. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, since the headmaster, mastermind, has to follow the regulations, we're gonna get a class trial do-over. However,
and the way that this was established was basically Kyoko said, like, listen, Monokuma, I know you don't care one way or another, but what about all the people watching? Surely they care about this being done right.
Yeah.
However...
Like, you know, if the whole point of this is for, like, them to be all, like, you know, fucked up and upset by what's going on here, they're not going to be if you're the one causing it. That just makes you the bad guy.
So the next trial is being billed as Hope versus Despair. And not only do we have to figure out who murdered Mukuro, we also have to figure out all the other mysteries of the school in one go.
Because... So... Listen.
Oh, and I think we also got the reveal of what, Oh, no, you were here when we revealed her ultimate talent, right?
Indeed.
Yes, Ultimate is active.
Yes, he left for dinner while we were on the ladder.
Yeah, the only other thing that you lost was that she wants to find her father, not to, like, reconnect them or anything, but just to sever all ties with him. Because his legacy of walking out on the Kirigiri family name has followed her for a long time.
So... It would seem... In other words... Correct. Hey. That's right.
Ultimate Spur.
It's true.
I mean, yes, but...
Makoto. In other words... At the very least... Indeed. Right. It's true. Indeed. In other words,
the mastermind. Sometimes the best detective
However-
work is built on hunches. And the willing sacrifice of your friends on dubious claims of morality and friendship.
Well, you know.
I'm glad it paid off, but...
Also, now you know not to trust
Wrong.
any of those other fucks, because they all voted for you.
I mean, if you haven't learned that,
the
Yakuza's
other
an asshole
people
and the
in that
rest are
trial
sheep.
were sheep.
Make
Sheep
sure
and
to rub their nose
Byakuya,
in
who
it.
seems like he's willing to put his life on the line for a quick laugh.
Make sure you rub their nose in it every chance you get. Hey, Yasuhiro, I need your help moving the couch. I don't know, man. Hey, remember that time you voted to kill me?
fine.
I'll get my back brace. The last bear claw in the box of donuts. Both us and Hina are going for it. For it. You almost murdered me in the 5th trial. Dang it. Oh, bear claw.
correct.
Note that only works on Hina and Yasuhiro.
Yeah, Byakuya and Toko don't give a fuck.
Yup.
Hey,
Byakuya, remember when you almost got me killed by voting against me?
Yeah, good times. Good times. Get out of my way,
It's a damn
peasant.
shame it didn't actually happen.
That's my bear claw. Yes. Delicious.
however... Anyway... Shall we go?
Let's go freak out Yasuhiro again.
Here, hand me those napkins. What? I'm gonna do that Japanese ghost thing with the triangle on the head.
Oh.
So we're all agreed that Yasuhiro hit Makoto on the head with a chair and killed him, right? This did not work out the way I'd hoped. Where does anybody get found in this school nowadays?
It said in the dorms.
Yeah, this is the dorms.
Yeah.
Greeted with keyboard smash. Got it.
Apparently, there's a cat in the Mono Ukuma control room, walking across the keyboard.
However...
Remember, last of his strength.
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is!
Toko looks
There's
uncharacteristically
no two ways
happy.
about it. That's Makoto.
And he smells like garbage.
You survived?
Jeez.
Maybe we should
You're
go
like
to
a
the shower
stubborn little
first.
cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're
God
not a
damn it.
ghost, right?
Did you really expect any different?
No.
All my friends, and Byakuya and Toko.
What the heck?
I have to get dumped in the garbage.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you.
Can I go shower first, then have these talks?
No, this is too important. No, Hina, we covered this last time. There's no higher floor to this place.
What about basement?
Yeah, but there were locked rooms.
That's true.
Yeah. We could go sideways.
I don't know, things went pretty sideways in that trial.
Ew.
Sideways through time. Again, wrong series.
That's right.
Anyone with a pacemaker?
Yo!
And this conversation's already over.
You know?
Dated reference!
That was dated for even when this game came out.
Yep.
Yes.
In fairness, in the original, it's a reference to a Japanese fortune teller who has had an actual extended career, not Miss Cleo, who existed for like 2 years.
Sorry, throw around a garbage file. You know how it is. Oh, God.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I was still disappointed.
You back away slow.
Let's just go talk to Kyoko.
Yes.
It's true.
What I have to tell you all.
In other words...
Huh?
But we already know who did it.
How about that?
No, you idiot.
Wrong.
Huh?
I see.
What about you, potted plant?
Oh no, they're onto me.
That's right. However...
What did you say?
Didn't rat out a friend.
However...
No, by now the school regulations don't really matter.
They matter to the viewers at home.
The entire reason why we get this do-over is because the school regulations matter.
If only in a letter of the law style way. Or not even that, really.
Correct.
Just a loose game of
Naturally.
pretend.
Well, their entire argument is, broken if you prove that they had to cheat to get it.
Don't be mean!
About that.
Including the mystery of the missing donuts.
But...
Ina.
That was me. All right, one less mystery.
Anyway.
From back in the corner where Kyoko's standing, it wasn't a mystery.
Oh no!
I hate you.
It's okay, you die pretty soon.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not murdered. You just die. Happens.
Anyway.
Yeah. Natural causes, actually.
Interesting.
As it turns out, a person can only exist on cartoon physics long enough, or so long before their body just gives out.
Well, more like she's internally bleeding right now. She doesn't know.
We work together and search as hard as we can, and never let Toko and Yasuhiro do any of the thinking.
And Hina. Don't forget Hina.
We just have to make sure Hina stays around the right people to get the right ideas. Then she'll dogmatically pursue those ideas to the end.
Indeed.
I see.
Huh?
So, in other words, in other words,
It's actually Mondo, who didn't really become butter.
Can't believe you all believe that Mundo Butter thing. That's dumb.
It'd be funny if this game actually had like 9 canonical endings where each of the pre-murdered people is actually the mastermind.
They released a bunch of fake spoilers on the internet. In reality, Hope's Peak is actually on a giant motorcycle that's driving around the entirety of Japan right now.
Indeed.
This makes absolutely perfect... No, it doesn't.
Because I've gone crazy. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Whatever, small hands.
Tiny hands, all full of turmoil.
Well... But...
I'm right?
Ding dong.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Hmm?
That's fine.
Chihiro's the mastermind, and it turns out this entire thing has just been a game that's programmed by Chihiro. None of these people are real, they're just characters.
In the name of my family.
He author inserted. So what did you guys think? Dude, you gotta tone down Hifumi, I couldn't stand him.
Goodbye.
But that is him toned down.
You gotta tone him down more, man. Him and Toko.
Yeah, Toko's probably fine considering the content of the game.
So just a mug. We're all mugs. Mugs are not totally useless. You can hold things in them.
Other than coffee, might I add.
Or what's left of your sanity. Which would fill up half the mug. And you still have room for coffee.
And cream.
Indeed.
You know?
Just a second.
So everyone
How
just
about
split
that?
off enough. I mean, realistically, I guess you don't have to worry about murder at this point.
That would be the real way to throw it off. Someone should murder someone now.
But... Cause, I mean... But...
And an active hindrance at times, but we won't bring that up. Apart from that one time.
He did try to
Just
kill us
brought
all.
it up. Hina has been part of 3 pylons, which if we hadn't spent a good portion of the first part of a trial disputing, would have resulted in a wrong guess and us all dying, because everyone was willing to follow her suggestion.
Indeed.
Oh, no. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the one time she actively tried to get us killed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a trial where she's actively the nemesis.
However, so
Let's split up, gang.
So then... Correct. Makoto.
As it turns out, the entire truth is just under Makoto's bed. Literally everything they're looking for is just in a file that Monokuma left under his bed as a joke.
There's just one word written on this, and it just says punked. Boom! Ashton Kutcher pops out from the closet. So they're not really dead? Oh, they're totally dead. Okay.
No, this is not the special joke chapter of Death Note where it was all a candid camera show. A thing, which actually happened.
Yep. I love that. Whole lot of places to check.
Yep. Whole lot of places to run around to.
Yep. However, because of the length of this chapter and because it's already 3 o'clock, we are probably going to call it here, especially because I want to have some time for discussion during and after the final trial. So we're probably going to save and call it here.
Do we want to have any predictions beforehand of based on what new evidence we have?
Probably do it before the actual trial,
Yeah.
since we still have to gather evidence and stuff.
Yeah, we still have a lot of evidence to gather, and we still have a lot of revelations about the plot, even before the trial itself. That are coming. So, even just the investigation is going to reveal a lot of information to us. So, we will save those guesses for when we're about to go into the last trial. But until that point, and the other thing I want to do is I want to actually run through, complete the game, then do the Mono Mono machine to try and get that special item so that we can also show off, probably in either the end of next stream or the beginning of the stream after that, when we do our cleanup of Danganronpa lore for this game. Show the alternate ending that involves this mysterious item.
What do you say? Do you want to, like, in the meantime, before next week, just run through it really quickly on a separate save?
That's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make a separate save.
Excellent.
Run through the trial. Then, when we have the thing cleared, do the Mono Mono machine and get that item.
Excellent.
Because that item doesn't get added until you beat the game once.
Of course.
So anyway, until that point, thank you for joining us on our SoundGoblin Storytime Sunday stream. Losing track of time here. Anyway, join us on Tuesday for some game that has yet to be determined, but will certainly happen. And join us on Saturday for the continuing of The Inquestining, where we clean up all the side story and optional quest content in Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky 2nd chapter on our run-up to the final chapter, and our confrontation with the dreaded Ouroboros, dreaded in quotation marks. Until that time, I've been your host, the Krampus.
I've been Bograt.
I've been Shiv.
I've been Hunter Green.
And I've been Vincent.
Alright. And remember, everybody, stick to the rules or else.
Yep.
Have a good one.